we pick up the story in 1 Kings 18. It comes about after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 30th, saying, Now go and show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the face of the earth. And Elijah went to show himself to Ahab. Now the famine was very severe in Samaria. I can imagine as Elijah went by, as he's walking to meet Ahab, there's a very severe famine. Can you imagine? For 3 years there's no rain. Drought has settled in. And you can imagine as he traveled through the land, there was carcasses all over. Cattle that had died. People that had died. Vegetation. I mean, just famine all over. It was a horrible situation. And Ahab has been searching for Elijah all over, and he can't find this man because God hid him. And then this horrible situation, and then finally Elijah meets Ahab, and Ahab's first words to Elijah was, Here you are, the troubler of Israel. And actually the word means, you snake. I love the way when a pagan king wants to blame somebody, he finds Elijah, the man of God, to blame. But I love what Elijah does, and I want you to see something. Elijah is not intimidated. Elijah has been alone with God. And Elijah, in the whole conversation, you see the whole conversation, throughout the confrontation of the prophets of Baal, he speaks 9 times. Just 9 times, and all of them are commands. This man has been with God. This man is not intimidated. He has learned his lessons at Brook Cherith. He has learned who he is and who God is in Zarephath. And he knows when he says something, he knows that God is going to honor his word. And he says to Ahab, he says, I have not troubled Israel, but you have, because you've made them follow the Baal's gods. And he gives them a command and says, I want you to bring all the prophets of Ashtoreth and Baal to Mount Carmel. Your very field, I'm going to bring them and we're going to have a showdown. And then we know the story, the prophets of Baal and all these guys. And please understand, they've been eating at Jezebel's table. You know what I find interesting about that? There's a famine in the land. People are dying all over. People are poor all over. But these guys are eating at Jezebel's table. They're having a good time. And they all come down now to the main place of Carmel, and I love this part of the story. Listen to what Elijah does. Elijah draws the people together, and this is what he says. He is basically not just having a confrontation at Mount Carmel for the prophets of Baal's sake. He's having a confrontation because he wants to tell the people of Israel who the living God is. And I love this statement. Verse 21, Elijah came near to all the people and said, How long will you halt or hesitate between 2 paths? Man, that's so good. How long will you hesitate? How long will you halt? Will you waver between 2 decisions? We'll come to that in a moment. If the Lord is God, then follow him. If Baal is God, then go ahead and follow him. But this verse really gets me. The people's response. But the people did not answer Elijah a word. Not even a word. They were just silent. Do you know why? Because when you're compromising, when you're sitting on the fence, that's all you can do. When you're compromising and you know that it's wrong, you know what? That's all you do. They answered the people, not a word. I go back to a time 800 years before this, where Joshua called the people on a mountain not far from Mount Carmel. And Joshua had to make a decision, and God's people have to make a decision all the time. And Joshua called the people of Israel, and this is what he said. He called them together at one of the mountains there, and he said, we have come through the land. We're now going into the promised land. And he says, listen, I don't know about you. I don't know what you want to serve, people. But he says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And I want you to choose this day whom you will serve. Will you serve the gods that were left behind in the world in Egypt? Or will you follow the God who brought you through the river, brought you through the Red Sea? And will you follow that God? Choose this day whom you will serve. Will you follow those gods, or will you follow the living God? As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I like that. As for me and my house, he was a godly leader, and he chose for his household. He said, listen, I'm not giving my household a choice. As long as my household is under my covering, I am accountable to God, and I'm not giving my household a choice. As for me and my God, we will serve the living God. As for me and my wife, we will serve the living God. As for me and my children, we will serve the living God. As for me and our maidservants and those who live in our home, we'll get them saved. And we will serve the living God, because the Lord God is to be served. And you can choose who you want to serve, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I like that kind of conviction.